Hey mamas, it's Kristen Noel, founder of the Intuitive Divorce, hopping on here straight after class with my beautiful team member, Master Coach Joe Young. And we've got a couple of minutes to just unpack some of the incredibly moving pieces and parts of what happened today. Because as we always know, when one woman is going through something through divorce, it's likely that there's many other out there having the same experience, dealing with the same feelings, this trying to break the same patterns and move into something new. And I think this is a really good place to start because one of the surprising places that, well, maybe it's not so surprising because it seems that everything always circles back to creating boundaries for ourselves and giving ourselves permission. And one of the things that we were practicing today in class, it came up very early on, was the power of no and and no being a full sentence. So this is probably something that would be like a great thing to just to grasp onto today.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes total sense when you go back and you reflect on how most of us were raised, right? And what we were taught. And especially women, we're the yes people. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I will put everybody first. Yes, I will sacrifice whatever in order for you to be happy, right? It's classic kind of, we want to put our Wonder Woman capes on and think that we can do it all and be all for everyone. And the essential part of understanding boundaries, I mean, the most common way that people cross their own boundaries is by saying yes when they
Mhm.
really want to say no, because it's so conditioned in us to do so. So we had a great opportunity today to really talk through that and to help the mamas see because we feel like we have to justify saying no, right? So if somebody asks me to do something that I don't really want to do, I feel like I got to give 900 reasons as to why I can't do it, or
Mhm.
even one reason. And when we do that, we really open the door for there to be conflict, for
Mhm.
there to be an argument against what the reason is.
Mhm.
And we basically open the door for someone to argue our own boundary, and it
I love
becomes
when you
much harder
said
to hold.
today. Well,
Yeah.
also it's like getting beneath the no.
Yeah.
Why is it that I'm so uncomfortable saying no? That's a really great place of self-examination. Why does no feel so uncomfortable? Like, why am I a bad person? I don't want people to be angry with me. I mean, there's this little wounded girl in there that just it's like me. Yes, I'm the people pleaser. I make it better for everybody else, but meanwhile, I'm shrinking and suffocating inside. And so we so falsely believe that if we try to make everything better for everybody else and we're still suffering on the inside, it's okay. And that nobody's going to know. But it came up so in so many different forms today because it's tricky that way, right? Like just when moms are like flexing their muscles and starting to create some boundaries, it kind of sneaks in another way. And it's like, here's another opportunity for you to practice creating boundaries. And, it came up in several different scenarios. One mama who was actually, I feel, well versed in boundaries was finding herself getting tripped up a little bit when her soon to be ex was just kind of like, wanting to stop by and pick up something else from the house or take something or borrow something or disrupt something. And it was all about his schedule. And we said this, okay, so what about just saying no? And we unpacked why is it so hard to say no? And what about not always having to tell a big story, give a big explanation? We had another mama who had family members who suddenly had opinions about the choices that she was making. Well, it opens a lot of can of worms.
It does. It does. Boundaries are, they're not something that we just come by naturally. I mean,
Mhm.
this is a skill that you really teach yourself, and it's so necessary in divorce and beyond, but particularly while you're going through divorce around, you know, being very clear about what's okay for you. Be very clear about what your yeses are. And, as we told the one mom, at the end of the day, if you're not ready to give a hard no, if nothing else, put a pause in
Mhm.
place. Like
Mhm.
take the baby step to a no,
Right.
which is Let me think about that and I'll get back to you. And that way
Right.
we're not at least just not automatic yesing, right?
Right.
Which is what we
Right.
tend to do. And then we
Right.
resent it and get angry and go, why did I do that? Why did I
Right.
agree to that when I didn't want to? It can be a bridge to
Mm-hmm.
just being able to say, you know what? No, I can't do that this time. Or thank you for inviting me, but I'm not available this time. Whatever it is, or just a simple no, it's not okay. And let
Right.
that be enough.
Right.
And to your point, Kristen, the biggest thing for people to understand is what keeps you from being able to do that is oftentimes because when we say no, we're making it mean something about us. So if I say no, then I'm not being cooperative. If I say no, then I'm not being the nice girl, the easygoing one. And it's unfamiliar territory to be able to go, wait a second, what I want and what I think, my yeses and my nos are important. They matter. That way, when I say yes, I get
Mm-hmm.
to say it out of joy. I get to say it because I mean it. I get to say it because it's a full body yes out of desire,
And I'm
not
honoring
because of,
myself. I'm honoring
yes,
myself and I'm modeling that for my children,
yes,
right?
it's huge. Yeah,
I
we
think it's
want our
really huge.
children to have boundaries, right? We want our children. I mean, think about it when your children become teens,
Mm-hmm.
you particularly, you want them to have very strong boundaries about what's okay for them and what isn't okay for them. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't happen magically. You have to model it. We have to teach that
Mm-hmm.
for our children.
We
Yeah, it's a big
also,
skill.
yeah, we also falsely believe that just by saying yes and giving into everyone's requests, that that's going to make them happy and that there's not a price that we're paying.
Mhm.
So even when you are a mama who is keeping the peace in the house, being the people pleaser, being the fixer, just saying yes to everyone, but you're silently just, your energy is just chipping away inside. Your joie de vivre and your life force is just draining. If you think that nobody's picking up on that, like your kids are not picking up on that, you're sorely missing the mark there. You can't keep pretending that I'm okay, all is well. Because when you say yes, when you want to say no, you are just draining and shriveling and eventually just filling yourself with resentment.
Yeah, you're telling yourself that what I think doesn't matter. What I
Hmm.
want doesn't matter. And then we feel resentful that people don't honor us or hear us or see us. But every time we say yes, when we want to say no, what we're actually doing is disappearing more and more and more. That's actually
Hmm.
what we're doing. And so we teach this in this group so that, first of all, it's a pattern breaker. But second of all, the other piece about the kids is when a child is watching a parent do this, what the child is learning is that, oh, so what I'm really supposed to do in life is to suck up how I'm really feeling, is to hide how I'm really feeling and just always put a smile on my face and say
Hmm.
yes. That's what
Hmm.
we're teaching. And none of us want that for our children. None of us.
Hmm.
So it does require learning how to do things a little differently. And at the baseline, what we say is if you can't say yes out of want and desire, then it should be a no. It
Hmm.
needs to be a no, or at least a let me think about it.
And
If you're about to make tough decisions and you're not sure, give yourself a pause. Give
right.
yourself some time to think about what it is that you really want.
And feel it and feel into that.
Yeah.
It's super
Yep.
important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So important. And also, what I love about this is that the women that are in our group and the women that are showing up and the that are actually revealing these stories and sharing these scenarios and sharing these experiences, they're seeing this quicker and quicker and quicker and catching themselves. And this is not about condemnation. This is not about guilting yourself. This is not about shaming yourself. This is about self-reflection and saying, oh, this is just an old way of being that I no longer want to be or no longer want to do or no longer want to practice. And so I'm breaking that. And this is temporary. And I'm loving myself through it. And I'm learning new tools and tips and strategies. And I'm reflecting that and I'm being held and I'm being nurtured and I'm being guided. And you know what? I'm moving the needle. and it's shifting. It's just like going to the gym for the first time and those wobbly muscles eventually strengthen and you're like, hey, take a look at that. And it is actually, by the way, the most loving thing you can do for self and others. So if you really want to lean into new ways of being, practice saying no this week. No for the right reasons. No because it just doesn't feel right to me. This is not something that I'm going to feel good about. And so I think this is a good place to leave you off. And we just want to empower you with your own voice and your own intuition, and to know that it is okay to check in and it's okay to tell someone something that they don't want to hear because you matter.
Yeah. And there's ways to say no. There's
Mhm,
ways to say no with grace and with love and be loving to you
mhm,
because right now that's what matters most.
mhm.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah,
thank
the
you
power
for
of
joining
no.
us for the power of no, for this no conversation. We just wanted to pop on quickly. We were just having to share this with you. And so again, if you would like to learn more about what we're doing, check us out intuitivedivorce.com. Again, get on our newsletter. There's so much stuff that we're constantly putting out because we really, really care about transforming this experience and the outcomes of divorce one mom at a time. And we really believe in this work. We love this work. And nothing gives us greater satisfaction and love and happiness and joy than to see women own their aliveness again. And it's possible for you too. So hang in there,
Yes.
mamas. And we're sending you big, fierce mama bear love today.
Yeah. See you soon.